Hey everyone, welcome back. This is George with Trading Futures Live, where we trade futures live in front of the camera every single day. We show you our winners, we show you our losers. We try and be as transparent as possible. Very quickly, trading is inherently risky and can result in the loss of capital. So please do not take any of our trades or copy any of our trades. We are here for educational purposes only. And with that being said, my name is George. I got Beto next to me. Franco can't be with us today, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. Morning. If we take a look at the news, we already had CPI come out at 8:30, lower than expected. On an annualized basis, it came in at 8.5% annualized. We had 9.1% last month. So certainly better than expected, and the markets have certainly reacted quite favorably off of that news. Let's not forget we have PPI tomorrow and we have consumer sentiment on Friday, but certainly the major news on the week this week was this news that we just had at 8:30. Four major indexes here to the left, and they have all shot up on that news, but the ES and the Dow are the only two that have broken the highs of the last few days. We've got the Russell down here, still hasn't broken the high from Monday, and neither has the NQ. So if we're going to be long, especially me in the ES, I want to make sure that the NQ is broken above these highs as well. I don't want this to hold back my trade. If the NQ fails to break out or the Russell fails to break out, I'm going to be a little hesitant in trying to get long and potentially look to trade this back down. I am neutral right now. I'm neutral to neutral bullish overall. The market is open, but I don't necessarily. This can run or it can pull back and retrace everything that it did from the news. So I'm going to wait to see what the market decides. I've got my if-then scenarios right here that we did in the pre-market analysis. If we do break out to a new high, I'd like to see a pullback, but I'd also like to see the strength from the NQ that I mentioned to confirm going long. If we start to see rejections off of these highs and no follow through from the Russell or the NQ, I would potentially look to get short. And if we just immediately break down from here without any tests of these highs, I would potentially be looking to get long, maybe from this level here or even lower, or write it down, depending on maybe what the other markets are doing and what the internals are saying. If we take a look at the internals right now, they are opening up an extremely high territory as far as the advanced decline lines here. Above 2,000, above 2,500 here on the advanced decline for the NQ. Those are pretty extreme numbers. The tick chart, though, where is the tick chart? There we go. Tick chart also opening up an extreme territory. Hasn't even come back to the 750 yet here. On the NYSE tick, the NQ tick though, NQ obviously being the weaker market, as we said, didn't break those highs, pulling back harder and deeper in this pullback than the ES. And so again, we had the news and we're in this tight range right now. Market's needs to decide where it wants to go, what it wants to do. You look at the NQ, also in the tight range here, kind of trending downwards. We're both working remotely today, guys. Good morning, Python. Let us know if we have any sound issues potentially. Starting to break down. Have a retest of this right at the open of the high there, and are starting to break down. I wouldn't necessarily call this the retest. I want to see the retest in the actual regular trading hours. Come back and test this area, and if we get another rejection down, then I would potentially be short, but need to give these internals some time to tell us something as well. To get rejections off of here and push back up, especially like here on the NQ, push back up above the 600 or at least to the 600. Or if this just continues to trend downwards, we're getting a nice push up here on the advanced decline for the NYSE. But again, we're going to stay patient. If I'm going to be long the ES, I need the support of the NQ as well. So I could certainly see somebody who wants to be in this short, and it's short. But I need to see a little bit more before I were to get short. Does seem like the buyers have died out. There was very little volume in this run up. In fact, the high volume on the day, the high volume area is already this range up here. It was very obviously the tight range we had down here in the pre-market until the news, but it very quickly changed over to this range up here is the high volume area. With the high volume node, I have it around 192.75 for 192.50 actually. For 192.50. Little volume in this run up. It was a high volume candle, but the volume stepped in at the top end of this candle. This was essentially a gap up until it started to find sellers up here. This wasn't that there was a ton of buyers. It's that there was a lack of sellers. Price moved up until it really found a bunch of sellers up here, which very clearly stopped price right in its track at this zone up here. So um, it was a high volume candle, but it was all near the top. You got anything on NQ, Bedlam?
No, nothing yet. I like wait at least for the first 15-minute closed in order to see what the market is doing and what the internals are doing. So I wanna jump in this market after we move 300 point to the upside. So no.
Just a quick little 300 points and
Yeah, no. I rather wait and wait and wait and be sure what the market is doing.
we did have outrage. Oh no, that's the 5 minute. Let's see here. No, pretty average volume at the open. The average volume at the open actually surpassed by the volume in that first 2 minute candle, but a bit higher than average, but
Yeah.
not anything necessarily extreme. We've got 1 minute left. The first 15 minutes. Not much movement so far.
The Russell it's breaking the overnight.
Yes, and it's pushing up, testing these highs finally here. Monday, the Dow continues to freaking rocket up. I think the markets could potentially go higher, but the NQ is what's holding everybody back. So
yeah,
good sign for you trading the NQ that if the NQ does decide to break out, it might become the leader in the push to the upside. One thing that I struggle with a little bit with the ES, although I prefer trading the ES, is just ES is usually not the leading index. I'm usually trailing somebody, either any one of the other three markets. Right now, it's lagging behind the Dow. Sometimes it's lagging behind the NQ. Sometimes it's lagging behind the Russell. It's usually not the leading index.
Okay, George. I have my orders set at 36.50.
Short.
Yes.
Target down to the pivot.
Yes. My stop will be at, well, at 56.50.
All right, we're certainly getting bullish signals here on the internals, especially for the ES. Came down, didn't even make it to the zero line. Push to an extreme high. Advanced declines pushing up. Tick chart on the NQ came to the zero line. Like to see a little bit more bullishness from the advanced decline, but starting to see more bullishness from the internals than anything. I do think that if I get a breakout of here, I will be looking for long.
Oh man. Didn't get filled by 1 point. In this case, I will cancel my order because the TQ went to the almost zero line. And if the price turn back, can break all those highs there. And maybe try to go to the overnight. I missed my trade by 1 point, but it is what it is, right? The good thing when we day trade, we can have many opportunities along the day. So patient. Let's be patient.
Anybody in anything out there? Continues to push. Hasn't broken that high from Monday yet, but VIX has been coming down hard down to the 20s. Minute, this last one that closed to a new high, but didn't even break the high. So we'll see here. Q is still the lagging index of the Russell finally starting to. It did break, so the Russell finally broke the highs from Monday. All right, a sign that this market could potentially continue to go up. Still kind of waiting for the NQ to join the other three indexes. Your resistance level forming here at the highs. It's the high from a few months back. If we actually have to go as far back as the daily, is the high from May 30th, it looks like. Above that, we've got room to go. Now,
the TQ in the Nasdaq make a new low, new fresh low.
Yeah. Also broke that high and is getting rejected off of it there. We're going to stay patient, guys. We are going to stay patient. Right now, I'm kind of a solid breakout. Back. And information from internals as well as the NQ. The downside, we kind of have this trend line forming here. So for the moment, I would need to see more so break of the trend line. Maybe get short. Could break the trend line up here though. Take it short here, maybe even back down to the origination of where it from. Certainly no follow through to the upside right now. Market could just be taking this first 30 minutes or maybe even the first hour of this market open to absorb the move from the news. That's really what it's doing. It's accepting price up here. We'll see if it takes out to the upside or comes back down, but I do expect to see some more movement today, but it could come a bit later, maybe even in the afternoon. On the tick chart starting to trend down. New low, just barely a new low on that most recent tick Q. See if the advanced declines break down, break these pivots. really not much movement yet, guys. We're still in a 17, 18 point range since the open. Like I said in the pre-market analysis, daily ATR is 69 points today on the ES. We have already exceeded that with this move from the news. Doesn't mean this can't trend up and continue higher today, though. This is certainly the type of day that the ATR could be doubled, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. So, but this could be the high of the day, or we could extend to new levels. If we go ahead and take a look at the daily, we have a cluster here, and our next cluster above is this range up here. Now, could it potentially get up to here today? 42.76, basically another 70, 80 points. It could. It could. Unlikely, but it could. So the question becomes, what's it going to do? Is it going to false breakout of this high? Or is it going to make a run up today to these levels up here? And at 30, this first 30 minutes, that short, huh, Beto?
What?
You didn't re-engage that short, huh?
No, no, no. No.
Dollar looks like it wants to push back down. VIX had a huge gap from the news. Looks like it wants to continue to push down. See what kind of rejection we get here off of the zero line on the tick chart. Do we have an extreme push up? Do we have an extreme push up to test these highs again here on the tick? Or do we basically hold this trend line down?
New 30 and new 15, George.
Yes, new 30. So that's the close of the first 30. And even the hourly candle just closed as a complete doji, not breaking to a new high. Four major indexes here. The ES on the top left, Nasdaq, YM, which is the Dow, and the Russell here on the left. The Russell that did break the high from Monday finally has since been rejected off, but we'll see if we push back up above. The Dow is screaming up, and if we want to be long again, I'd like to see follow through from the Russell and the Nasdaq to confirm the bullish move. Until then, we are going to stay patient. We are going to stay patient. Markets are just absorbing this news right now.
Be patient.
Yes, sir. Stay patient, guys. No follow through in any direction thus far. Signal yet that the market wants to go in any direction. YM continues to be the strongest market. NQ continues to be the weakest. The NQ is up 2% though, but it's getting held up by these highs from Monday. That the ES already broke and the YM already broke. Got the tick charts, though they continue to reject off of the zero line here. Starting to trend lower. These highs are starting to trend lower. Same here on the NYSE tick. No follow through yet from the advanced decline lines, though. Like to see them break. Like to see this break down, holding a nice trend line there, but like to see it break down to a new low. Same here from the NYSE advanced decline. Continue to see it to trend down. Maybe see some extreme lows here on the tick chart to maybe think about getting in short, but nothing yet. We're sideways, inside of sideways, inside of sideways. So I'm going to step out for a moment and go get myself a coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay, okay. Well, guys, we're still waiting, waiting, and waiting. Clear that the Nasdaq is the weakest. The other ones, the ES, didn't break the overnight, and the Russell is holding there. The Nasdaq is pushing down right now, even though the internals show strength. The Nasdaq is dropping. We'll see. Minute and a half for the next 15, and we'll see. I always like be aware of the close of the 15-minute candle. I have been noticed that when the candle closed and the next open, some volatility jumping at that time. So it's not that I make any decision about that. It's just being aware of that, right? Franco likes better the 7 minutes and George the 30 minutes. I do like the 15. Okay. We are reaching the low of the day. The TQ make a new fresh low, and the ADQD, it's about to break a pivot. Okay, the Russell is retracing a little bit, and the ES is dropping with the Nasdaq. I missed my trade because the internals, but it is what it is. We may have another opportunity to get in. By far, the market is ranging there, so we wait and wait. The patience pay, guys. Guaranteed. Patience pay. Okay. The Russell, it's going down and very hard. It's getting back into the overnight zone. And now the Nasdaq is holding at that point, at the low of the day. We'll see if we can break that point. Another extreme low on the TQ. And the TQ is retracing very hard. New low on the ADQD. So now that the Russell is dropping, the Nasdaq and the ES are holding. So that is an interesting information. Sometimes the markets are not correlated, and I mean the ES and the Nasdaq are very close correlated, but the Russell sometimes doesn't. So that is very good information to know. Also, just letting you know, the information of the yen is raising very hard, 2%, and the bonds are up 0.68%, the 10-year bonds.
Nothing yet.
So the Nasdaq is holding right there at the open. We'll see if we can break, not the open, sorry, the low of the day after the open.
New lows on the tick chart. Its clients starting to break down. Dollar broke out to a new low but got rejected off. Yeah, getting extreme pushes on the tick chart here, continuing this trend downwards. Lower highs, lower lows here. That's a new low of the regular trading hour session since the session opened on the ES. NQ broke out? Yeah, same.
Yes, and very hard.
Yeah. Do have that trend line marked out there. We'll see what kind of action we get off of it.
Can the market come back at the overnight low, or at least at the when the news start? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
He can.
I mean, if I get in short, that would be my target. Would be where the news
Yes.
shot from. We did break to a new low there, but that trend line is holding there on the ES. It's holding there on the NQ as well. asset manager 41.91, short to 41.91 from the highs. Assuming you're taking like a scalped 41.91. We were up here when I went to go grab a coffee. $19.14. Very slow session so far, guys. Not much movement. We had the news event at 8:30. CPI came in better than expected, 8.5% annualized. Better than last month, 9.1%. So the market shot up on that news and has since just been chopping around sideways. We did just finally get a new break of the low from the first 30 minutes since the session opened here at 9:30. Created a low here, never made a new high there, and just was very sideways, and just recently broke that low, but is still holding that trend line there. And so I've got my scenarios right now, but I'd needed to break below the trend line for me to think about getting short. But if we do see multiple rejections off of here and I'm not able to find a short, I could think about getting long from here. No follow through to the upside right now. Have extended past the daily ATR. Again, I've already mentioned a few times that doesn't necessarily mean anything. We can double that daily ATR today and it would not surprise me, but no follow through as far. We did come into a daily supply level that I have marked out here, and I mean, and it's basically the high from
Near
May
15.
30th, so a few months back, and waiting for the market to decide on something. It's just accepting price up here. It shot up on the news in just 2 minutes and has been sideways since, and it's just price is just market is just accepting price up here. Transactions going on. People are making adjustments to their portfolios, I guess, and whatnot. Who knows? You have a new 30, like Beto said. That is the close of the first hour. The first hour high at basically 4,200. First hour low at 79, basically. So 21 point range in the first hour. A very tight range for the the first hour. At least as far as recent history is concerned. So we're going to stay patient. Today might be the day that we need to find a trade in the afternoon. take all morning for price to accept the levels here and break out of them to maybe test these levels down here or break to the upside to test a new high. So we're going to stay patient. If we don't take a trade, that is fine. We don't need to take a trade every day. We need to take a good trade when we take a trade. There's one thing that I hope we help you guys with here is your patience, not over trading. It's the easiest way to blow an account, easiest way to trigger yourself, easiest way to get caught in some revenge trading is take more trades than you can handle, risk more than you can handle. You want to make sure that your position sizing is correct, that you're taking good trades. If you're taking good trades, in theory, you shouldn't get triggered. If you take a loss, you need to accept the loss. Roll back over to the upside. Dollar continues to break down. VIX continues to break down. It's a recent extreme high here on the tick chart, breaking that downtrend that we had been talking about here. But not making it to new highs on the chart here. So I think with that, we're going to call it a morning, guys. We're going to stay vigilant, keep an eye on the markets, see if maybe we get an opportunity a little bit later on. But please, guys, stay patient. Market hasn't gone anywhere yet. No need to take a bad trade today. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry we didn't take any trades today. We didn't have much going on today. Hopefully the afternoon will have some movement. And remember, 9 a.m. pre-market analysis, 9:25 we go live, and we will catch you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Take care, guys.